Hi guys, going to do a quick video here about how to create a hollow object that has maybe two parts that we can separate to see on the inside. Kind of like a casing, a hollow casing, and we'll create like what's called the lip and groove feature that basically allows the two objects to be assembled together. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes. So I'm just going to go into the top plane here and I'm going to sketch a center point rectangle, any size, it doesn't really matter, and I'm going to extrude it now to give it a bit of depth, and it doesn't matter what size. Once again, I'm going to put a few fillets on it. Let's say that this is like your alarm clock, the body of it. So I'm just going to whack a load of fillets on there to give it a nice cuboid ergonomic appearance, I suppose. And what I'll do then is go to shell. Now what I want to do is shell this out without removing any faces. So I'm going to give it maybe a 2mm wall thickness, okay? And I'm not going to select anything. Normally if I select that surface there, it's going to shell it down like that, okay? We don't want it to be an open top. So I'll just go back into my shell feature here, delete that face, and simply don't select anything. And what it actually does, which you can't see at the moment, but if I go to this one here, it actually hollows it out, as you can see there, which is a very handy tool. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'll turn off my section plane here. Now let's say we want the front of it to come off to be able to detach. There's like a front face or something. So what I'll do is I'll use a plane to kind of split it. So I'll use a plane based on the front plane. So I'll go reference geometry plane, and I'll bring the plane to the front approximately there. So imagine that that's like I can lift that front face off. So I'll just hit the green tick there. And what I want to do is use that plane to split it. So if I go to insert, features, and then split, and the trim tool is the cutting plane, and I want to cut the parts, and I'm left with these two parts here. Make sure consume cut bodies is not selected. So green tick that. Now you can see, if I hide this plane, you can see that we've split the feature, and it's hot. Now I'll split it from another direction here. I'll use one of the other planes. You can kind of see there that there's a seam. Now I could lift that off, okay? So it's like maybe an access to the inside of the object. So what I'll do now is create a kind of a lip and groove feature where the two of them are just meeting there, kind of with two flat faces, but obviously one is going to fall off the other. So what I'll do here, I was just messing around a few minutes ago. What I'll do is I'll hide this part, okay? And I want to go to my right plane in this case here. And what I want to do is go to my hidden detail visible. Now that thickness there is 2mm. So what I'm going to do is sketch a corner rectangle starting at the top there. And I'm just going to put a smart dimension on it 1 by 1. Okay, and it's going to create the little kind of what I call the kind of a lip feature that allows the two objects to fit together. So green tick. And if I just go back here now a second, what I want to do is kind of use that square, and I want to send it around the full circumference of that shape there to create a new solid. But I need to create a pathway for it, so I'm going to be using this swept boss base feature, which you'll remember from using the in the Allen key and the mug handle, etc. So on that surface there, I want to go sketch, and I want to convert entities. Now convert entities won't actually open, so I'm going to go to pretend to draw a line and go convert entities, and you can see what we have now. I have the outer, you can see there's a sketch there, okay, and I'm going to use that sketch now in a few minutes. Okay, so end that sketch there. So what I want to do now is go to swept boss base, and the profile I want to sweep is the square, and the path I wanted to take is this one here. Now there's your preview. You can see what it's doing. It's creating this lip feature all the way around. So it doesn't go down to the bottom edge of the plastic here. It's 1mm away from it. And I want to merge the result, okay? So green tick that. So now you can see. Now if I bring the other part back in, you'll also notice that there's an overlap. There's a clash of materials here, as you can see there, right? So if I go to my section plane again, you can see kind of what's happening there. You can kind of see that sometimes the little glitch in the graphics, if I hold it there, you can see what's happening. Now there isn't a socket for that little square piece. It's just kind of sitting in material, which doesn't make sense. So what we can use now, as you've probably guessed, is the indent feature to make a socket for it. So insert features, and I want to go to indent, which I can never find. Now the target body is the thing that's being cut, so we're going to cut this here. The tool body is the thing that's doing the cutting, that's that, and we want to go cut. So green tick. Now what you have is a perfect seam between the two solids. So what I can do now is turn off that, and there's a handy little feature here which will show you insert features, move copy, right? And I can take a body like this one here and I can drag it using the triad. In this case I'll do the X direction. It's just to move it so that you can see what it looks like away from it. And you can see now you have a perfect fit between the two parts. It's a handy little tool to have. Okay, now I can suppress that. I don't want to delete it, but if I suppress it, it brings it back to the way it was. If I even go to my hidden detail visible and go to a side view, you can see that the two of them fit together nicely in there, the two parts. Okay, could be something handy. You might have a purpose for it. It's a handy little feature to have, and that's it. So best of luck with that. You might use it in your project, hopefully.